Bruce Traversy. You are Head of Investments for Dream Industrial REIT. Thank you for joining us on BiTV.
Nice to meet you, and thanks for having me.
Dream Industrial REIT has recently announced the acquisition of a 827,000 square meter pan-European logistics portfolio from Clarion Partners Europe, which is worth 882 million euros. What are the main fundamentals that you were targeting with this acquisition?
Well, first off, thanks again for having me. Just a quick background. Dream Industrial REIT is a Toronto Stock Exchange listed vehicle. We focus on a total return model, and we still maintain a strong dividend. So we pay about 4.5% monthly to our investors on an annualized basis monthly. We keep a very conservative leverage, and we have an investment grade balance sheet. So that's sort of the framework within this, which we look at opportunities. We sort of saw this transaction as a really fantastic opportunity to acquire a significant portfolio of core and core plus logistics assets across several European geographies. These are geographies that we've been looking to enter, or geographies where we already have assets and wanted to grow our portfolio. We've had a lot of success over the last, really, it's been a year and a half or so in buying assets on a one-off basis across the Netherlands and Germany, which were the markets where we were active prior to this transaction. We did about 400 million euros of transactions, mostly one-off deals in those markets. So when we're looking to grow, we're vertically integrated. We're very active asset managers. So we want to, if we're going into a new market like France or Spain in this case, we want to go in with some scale. Buying one asset in France, managing it, it's not ideal. So this portfolio was really attractive because it had significant scale in France and Spain, significant scale in Germany and Netherlands, where we're already present, and then two sort of great one-off assets in Czech and Slovak, in the Czech Republic and Slovak Republic. So it was a perfect fit. And until Omega, we hadn't really seen many pan-European portfolios that really, that we really like. You don't see a lot of big portfolios of logistics. Historically, there haven't been many, and the ones that we have seen, it was often a mix of some good assets with some maybe less good assets thrown in there as part of the portfolio. This was 31 assets, all of which were very strong, and I think Clarion did a great job assembling the portfolio. So we believe that rents in Europe have a lot of room to grow, and we think these assets are well positioned to take advantage of that demand growth and supply restrictions, which obviously, as you know, exist in most European markets.
Yes. Okay. And therefore, maybe a little bit more broadly, what are the main elements of Dream Industrial REIT's investment strategy?
So Dream Industrial owns about 4 million square meters of logistics and light industrial assets across Europe, Canada, and the US now. It's over 200 properties. We typically focus on strong markets where there's growing demand for the real estate that we own. Of course, we want to continue to grow, but we also want to grow thoughtfully. And each acquisition or development that we do really has to contribute to making the overall portfolio better, more resilient, because obviously we're an investor-driven vehicle, and we have a dividend to pay, and a lot of people count on us for that. So we want to make sure that as we grow, we're making the totality of the investment better and better. And as I said, we manage what we own very actively, and so one part of our strategy is building out our team. I think as we grow, we grow our team. We have a great team now, but it will grow. So our focus is actively acquiring core and core plus logistics and light industrial assets in strong locations. We like to cluster, so we look for assets that we can either assets where we can build in markets where we can build a cluster of assets, or perhaps adding on to clusters that we already own. We have a pretty sizable development program as well on both sides of the Atlantic, and we really look to opportunities where we can maybe expand buildings, add to buildings, maybe even buy some land next to buildings and grow them. And you know, we already have a lot of those opportunities, and this portfolio really adds to that. So you know, those are kind of that's kind of the core focus. So we want to grow, we want to do some development, and we really want to buy good assets.
Okay, and you mentioned growth ambitions. Therefore, maybe the question for us is, what is your roadmap for Europe going forward?
You know, we intend to, we want to continue to be very active in Europe. We've been in the European market as an active investor for almost 10 years now. So the European logistics and light industrial portfolio that we have within this vehicle is now close to $2 billion in size, and we have a really strong pipeline of opportunities, either in exclusivity or that we're tracking very closely. And we've always been, as I said, historically been very successful building a portfolio on a deal-by-deal basis. But portfolios, when you can find the right one, are a great way to kind of accelerate that growth. So that's, you know, we'll look at both. And I said, you know, as I said, development expansion, that's a part of, you know, it's not going to be 50% of our program, but it will be a significant part of our program. Obviously, we're going to be very active in the 6 countries that we're present in right now: Germany, Netherlands, France, Spain, Czech, and Slovak. And I think we'll look at other strong European economies like the UK and maybe the Nordic countries for future growth. We're looking at some opportunities there, and we've been tracking them for a long time. So Dream Industrial REIT is just one of several public and private vehicles within Dream Asset Management. And so we cover the full spectrum. You know, we do offices, apartments, obviously logistics, industrial, and we also we operate private and public investment vehicles. We're a big developer. We build everything from full communities in Canada, like multi-billion-dollar communities, to single asset developments. But there's a big focus on impact investing. We have both a public and a private impact investment vehicle. Okay. And that sort of informs our investment strategy across the platform. I mean, it's a big part of how we conduct business. But I think one thing that's maybe interesting to your viewers is that, you know, I think we would like to re-enter the European office investment market. We had a vehicle, Dream Global REIT, which we built up from 2012 to about 2019 to be about a €4 billion office investment vehicle. It was acquired in late 2019 by a leading private equity firm, and that crystallized a significant return for our investors. And our investors are both North American and European institutions and individuals. So, you know, I think, you know, that was a great opportunity to crystallize value. But as well as industrial and logistics, I think office is on our radar as well in Europe. Okay.
That's interesting. Well, thank you very much for your time, Mr. Traversy, and thank you very much for your insight. And thank you all for joining us. See you soon on BiTV.
All right. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.